Most men think they're tired because they need more sleep. And sometimes that's true. But more often than not, that's not really the full picture. Because there's a kind of tiredness that sleep doesn't seem to fix. Hi, I'm John. I'm a dad of two boys, and I spend quite a lot of time thinking about life, how to live well, and how to give my boys the best chance of building a good future for themselves. And something I've noticed in myself and in a lot of other men is this constant feeling of being tired. Not just physically, but mentally. Like you've got less energy than you should have, less focus, less drive, and you can't quite explain why. You wake up already feeling a bit flat, and the first thing a lot of us do is reach for coffee. And look, I'm not against coffee. I drink it, probably a bit more than I should, if I'm honest. But it's interesting, isn't it, how quickly that becomes the solution. Just need a coffee. Just need to wake up. And it does help. It gives you that lift, that little push to get going. But it doesn't actually fix the problem. It just helps you get through it. And I think a lot of men are doing that every day, running slightly tired and using little boosts to keep going. And we also tend to tell ourselves, it's just because I'm busy. I've got a lot on. That's just life. And again, sometimes that's true, but I don't think it explains all of it. Because if you really step back and look at how we're living, it's actually quite far removed from how we're built to live. We sit a lot. We're constantly stimulated. We're always connected to something. And we don't give ourselves much proper rest, not real rest. And I think that's where a lot of this tiredness comes from, because there are actually different types of tiredness. There's physical tiredness. If you've done something strenuous, worked hard physically, moved your body a lot, it's normal to feel tired. That's your body saying, I've done something today. And that kind of tiredness is actually quite satisfying. You feel like you've earned it. But then there's mental tiredness, and that's different. That's the kind where you haven't really done anything physical, but you still feel drained. And I think that's the one most men are dealing with now. Just constant mental load, constant stimulation, constant low-level stress. And sleep plays a big role in this. But not just in the way people think. Sleep isn't just about switching off. It's about recovery. It's how your body and your brain recover from the stress and strain of the day. Everything you've done, everything you've thought about, everything you've dealt with, your body processes that when you sleep. And if that sleep isn't good or isn't enough, you don't recover properly. So you wake up already a bit behind, and then you try to push through the day anyway. Coffee, maybe another one later, and you get through it. But you never really catch up, and it just becomes your normal. And to be fair, sometimes being tired is completely normal. If you've had a late night, or an early start, or just a busy day, of course you're going to feel it. And that's fine. And in those situations, yeah, a coffee can help. It helps you get through the day. But that should be the exception, not the routine. If you need that every single day, then something underneath probably needs looking at. And there's also something really simple that most people overlook. When you wake up, you're dehydrated. You've just gone 6, 7, 8 hours without drinking anything, and your body needs water. So even something as basic as drinking a decent amount of water in the morning can make a noticeable difference. It's not exciting, it's not complicated, but it works. And this all comes back to something quite simple. We've moved quite far away from what actually keeps us feeling well. Proper rest, good sleep, movement, a bit of quiet. We've replaced a lot of that with constant input, phones, screens, noise, and then we wonder why we feel drained. And I've definitely been there myself, sitting there in the evening, scrolling, not really resting, but not really doing anything either, and somehow feeling more tired afterwards, which is quite impressive, really. But I think the key is just being a bit more aware of it, Not judging yourself, not trying to fix everything at once, just noticing. How do I actually feel? What's helping? What's not? Am I actually resting or just distracting myself? And then making small changes. Walking a bit more, putting the phone down a bit earlier, getting to bed a bit earlier when you can, drinking some water first thing. Nothing dramatic, but consistent. And over time, that changes how you feel. More energy, more clarity, and more control over your day. And if my boys ever watch this one day, this is something I really hope they understand. Feeling constantly tired isn't something you just have to accept. Sometimes it's normal, but often it's a signal, and it's worth paying attention to, because how you feel affects everything: your mood, your decisions, your relationships, your whole life, really. And small changes, over time, can completely shift that. All right, that's what I've been thinking about. I'll see you in the next one.